Hello, I'm going to suggest that you should stop worrying what other people think about you. I just read a, not newspaper, online article in The Atlantic, an American, it used to be a magazine. And anyway, and they were talking about the dangers of always worrying about what other people think of you. This may not be a problem for you, but I think it is human nature that we worry what other people think about us. We are social animals. We want to fit in. And sometimes that can cause problems if we think about it too much. I've got some points here. So the first point is it's very difficult to avoid a sense of being judged, especially in the social media age. I don't know if you mess around with Twitter or Line or Facebook or any, there are many. It can become rather difficult to be on those 24-hour sites because if you express an opinion, it can get back to the original person. So you have to be very careful what you judge and what you say, and then it's not very relaxing. And then you have to remember, what's my opinion? What do I think of this, that, or the other? So, yeah, it can be difficult. Excuse me. That was a big sneeze coming. Oh, how embarrassing. Oh, I hope you don't judge me. Of course you won't. A sneeze is a sneeze, right? But sometimes we worry about it. Oh, no, I've made a terrible mistake. Usually they're not terrible. I don't want to blame social media completely because this is the second bullet point here. It is human nature. Marcus Aurelius, I've talked about him before. He's the Roman emperor who was a big Stoic. He said, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. So that's the funny thing. We are always thinking about ourselves. We are humans. But we worry so much about what other people think of us. It's crazy. I know my mother-in-law is so worried about what the neighbors think of our garden. I don't care. I don't care whether my garden is beautiful or not beautiful. And I try to tell her they don't really care about our garden. Our neighbors don't really care. And not only the neighbors, nobody really, I don't spend my time worrying about other people's gardens. If you do, there's something wrong with you, I think. But I understand why we do worry about this. There's a evolutionary reason why we worry about other people's opinions. I've written here, makes sense in an earlier society where you must remain a member of the group to survive. Not so much these days. We have a complex society. In the old days, in the very old days, you need your group to help you fight off wild animals and keep you with food. These days, we just go to the supermarket. Our societies are more complex now. You don't just have a family group, you also have your work group, but also what sports teams do you support? That's your group as well. It's become very much more complicated. So there isn't just a member of one and not a member. You can easily quit groups and join other ones. Maybe. Anyway. But so our natural instinct is to want to be approved all the time. Now, this may not be a problem to you, but in the worst cases, we can become anxious or indecisive. We cannot decide because we're so worried about what other people think. Well, the solutions are, number one, remind yourself, no one cares. People simply are too busy thinking about themselves to care about you. That's a fact. I don't think the neighbors care about my garden because they don't, they're busy with their own life. Another thing you can do is to rebel against your shame. Decide to stop hiding what makes you feel shame. If you're feeling shame because you're going bald, shave your hair off. Suddenly you're not worried about it anymore. I don't know. But you're making a conscious decision not to be ashamed of something. not to worry about whether your garden is beautiful or not. If you have fancy clothes or cheap Uniqlo clothes. The final thing you can do, number 3, stop judging others. It liberates you from having to decide all the time. It stops you worrying what others think of you. So if I don't judge somebody else's garden, I'm not worried about them judging mine. If I don't care what other people are wearing, then I stop worrying about what they think about what I'm wearing. It gives you more time instead of having to decide and make judgments about everything. You don't have to. Okay. These are some solutions. Okay. Let's get some questions. Number 1. Oops. Oh, I always have a typing mistake. Let's see. Is it important what other people think of you? What do you think? Number 2. Do you worry about other people's opinions of yourself? Number 3. What can you do to stop worrying about what other people think of you? Okay. Let's have a chat about these ideas when I see you next. And don't worry about it. Okay. See you soon.